Uh, Dear everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, wherever you are, whenever you are in this world. And I greet you also with the greeting of Islam. Uh, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 30th of December 2023, nearly the end of a very, very heavy and difficult year. During this year, we have seen a lot of natural disasters and man-made disaster affecting 6 countries and one province. But I will talk to you today about 8 points. The title of my talk today is my end of year account. Usually every year I used to submit my account to you because as a public figure I'm accountable to the public, to the society, to the community, to everyone. That's why today I'm going to submit such a report with the new changes. Let me divide my talk tonight into 8 points. 8 points. Point number 1 is it is becoming a compelling duty. What do I mean by compelling duty? Upon every and each individual who is working at the public domain. Such an individual, male and female, has to submit their accounts to the public, to the government, to the donors on a regular basis, whether it is weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. We can't claim that we are working for the public without becoming transparent and submit our report or accounts to the public. That's why my first point today is it's a compelling duty that each and every one of us who are trying to become workers in the public domain have to submit their accounts before the end of the year. It's number 1. Number 2 is a kind of warning to all of us. What do I mean by warning? Never ever think that when you or your organization achieve something, this will be something that you have to be very, very proud of it. Why? Because we need to apply our social law, our social norm, our social moral values. And what is this? It means that we as workers are the employees of the poor people. To the employer of any individual who work in social, humanitarian, developmental is an employee by the poor, the displaced, the marginalized, the victims of rape, and the refugees, the orphans, and the widows. This is the law. The people who pay our salary are the poor, the widow, the orphans, the displaced, the refugees, the sick, and the elderly. So never ever be very proud of yourself, of what you achieve. Always remember that your employer does not have the same house that we have, does not have the same lifestyle that we have, does not have the luxury of medical care, health care, or educational services to our children that we have, does not have the car that we have, does not have the dress, code of dress that we have, and he at the same time is the one who is paying our salary to us. Can you believe that? Because the salary comes to us from sadaqah, fi sabilillah, zakah, awqaf, and the others. So never ever feel very proud and always remember this law. I'm not going to say base or principle. This law that نحن أجراء لدى الفقراء. We are employed by the poor. Our employers are the poor, as I mentioned earlier. This is number 2. Number 3, why I am changing my policy for the end of year account. As I mentioned earlier, because the six disasters affected 6 countries and 1 province. 5 of them are natural disasters, and 2 of them are man-made disasters. The natural disaster affecting Turkey, Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, as well as Morocco. The man-made disasters affecting Sudan and affecting Gaza. So at the end of the year, we need to look back at what's happening, especially after October 7th. We realized that some countries, some institution, or some organization, global organization, has certain plan, but the incident or the conflict happened in Gaza on October 7th have changed such a plan. I'm not going to discuss the political differences, but I'm just trying to say there was a plan and now the plan is changing. And here, I plan, you plan, they plan, everyone plans. But Allah has His own plan. That's why I keep reminding myself and others, please put Allah at the center of your planning. Allah's factor is more dominant, more powerful, more direct, more just than all our plan. That's why I'm going to remind myself and you of some verses from the Quran to remind us that Allah is watching closely, protecting the poor people, and being beside everybody who needs help, because He is the creator. That's why you plan, I plan, they plan, but Allah has got His own different plan. And as Allah said in Surah Ibrahim 46 and 47, just trying 46 and 47, as Allah said, وَمَكَرُوا مَكْرًا وَمَكَرْنَا مَكْرًا وَإِنْ كَانَ مَكْرُهُمْ. They have deceived, and we have deceived. You know, but their deceive is very wicked. It might remove or destroy mountains. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا عَمَّا يَعْمَلُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Don't ever think that Allah is not aware of what the bad guys are doing. What He's doing, إِنَّمَا يُؤَخِّرُهُمْ لِيَوْمٍ تَشْخَصُ فِيهِ الْأَبْصَارُ. He is delaying them for a day when they meet with Him, they will be shocked. Their gaze will be looking nowhere. تشخص فيه الأبصار. مهطعين مقنعين or something. In humiliation, because they plan and Allah plan, and Allah the best of planner. They deceive. Allah is the best of creating deception to remove and to destroy and to end their deceit or deception. وَمَكَرُوا مَكْرًا وَمَكَرْنَا مَكْرًا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They have deceived, and we have, Allah said to them, but they have not realized the amount or the might of our deception. This is Surah An-Naml, Ants, number 50. وَمَكَرُوا مَكْرَ اللَّهِ وَلَا خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. They have deceived, and Allah deceives, and Allah is the best. This is Al Imran 54, actually. And last and not least, فَآمِنُوا مَكْرَ اللَّهِ. Have they become little bit relaxed, not aware of the deception of Allah? Whoever is not aware of the deception of Allah is the loser. All these things will tell us that on October 7th, There was a plan, but Allah has another plan. That's why everybody now has to change their plan again and again and again, and the lucky one has to make it according to the plan of Allah. Point number four in my discussion: why you are busy with Gaza and you forgot other major problems. We used to rally for it for years, and we used to focus and to gear all our organization and resources to push its ideology on community, on children, on school, on educational system, cultural system, political system. Did Gaza event is more important than whatever is happening? We don't know. But we realized that the time machine of other events or issues stopped. But the time machine of Gaza is going forward, non-stoppable. And when we look at all this, even we were forced last year and the year before to accept values and the morality, which is the animals and the birds and even the insects do not accept it because it was against nature. Let me go with you through the issues that now become gone with the wind. They are not mentioned anymore. It's only Gaza mentioned. Why? Ask the people who changed the policy and the strategy. What are the issues which have been disappearing since October 7? October 7, as I mentioned in a previous talk, its impact will be more powerful, more devastating in a positive or negative than September 11. But anyway, what are the issues which disappeared? Climate change. Okay. Environmental pollution. Number 2 is the war in Ukraine, which is a threat to Europe's security and could lead to a third world war. Number 3, the rights of LGBT, lesbian, gay, and others. Nobody talks about them anymore. The desertification, the economical immigration, and the illegal migration, Syria and Yemen conflicts, and displacement and refugees, ethnic cleansing in Central African Republic, which is not there anymore. Nobody talks about them. Do you know about it? You forgot about it, and you don't want to talk about it. Central African Republic. Ethnic cleansing of Rohingya, Rohingya in Myanmar, Uyghur in China, and Kashmir in India. The Yazidi problem have been tortured and been terrorized and became victim of rape by ISIS. Nobody talks about their rights anymore. The native inhabitant of different countries, of Canada, New Zealand, United States of America, Australia, whom their history has been wiped out. Their culture has been removed. Even their existence was in question because millions and millions and millions of them have been killed by others. This is one of the problem which we don't talk about it, the native people in this area. The Tibet problem, which is a big problem, has been taken by the Chinese or by China and Taiwan. People are actually trying to explore these issues, but nobody talk about it anymore. The Eritrean refugees in East Sudan, for the last 50, 60 years. The last and not least, the issues of poverty, desertification, famine, drought in Somalia, Afghanistan, and Nepal. All these issues are not there anymore. The time machine is stopped while the time machine of Gaza is kicking. This was number 4 for me. Number 5 in my discussion today, that's why I'm not going to, as I mentioned to you earlier, to talk about our accounts as organization or our personal account as an individual, a part of this organization. But instead, I'm talking about this introduction, and I will conclude with something else of the 8 points. Point number 5 is the comparison between the victims coming out from natural disasters and the victims coming out from man-made disasters. As I said, 5 natural disasters affecting Syria, Turkey, Libya, Afghanistan, as well as Afghanistan and Morocco, okay? And 2 man-made disasters affecting Gaza and Sudan. Okay, let me take you by the hand. We find the natural disaster had been created definitely by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who was a part of his character, the mercy, forgiveness, compassionate, and patient. That's why the casualty of the natural disaster are far more less than the casualty in man-made disaster area. Okay? And if we can calculate all the victims who died during these 5 man-made disasters in these 5 countries, we find it less than 100,000. And might last for few seconds, few minutes, few hours, few days. The post-natural disaster crimes are very, very minimum. Some theft or looting, no rape. None of the people actually reported victims of rape in in natural disasters. Okay? Why? Because the one who was behind the the natural disaster, not man-made, natural disaster is the merciful, the kind, the compassionate, the forgiving. While on the man-made disaster, the man is creating it. It is surrounded by hatred, grudge feeling, revenge, torturing, killing, and during and after the conflict, crimes are still being committed by the militia or the military. And this is not only in Sudan and in Gaza, but through the history of humanity. Let me go with you through this kind of crimes which is committed by the militia or the armed groups or the military. What are they? Continuous frightening of innocent people, women, young children, and the elderly. Continuous killing of innocent people. Continuous destruction of infrastructure of countries, of societies, of communities. Continuous rape of young girls, women, and even children. Continuous looting and theft of personal properties of the people in the middle of the conflict, which are the innocent. Okay? Lack of respect to the places of worship, hospitals, clinics, places of refugees, places of displaced people. Okay? Continuous lying by the media of the warring factions. Continuous genocide is done to the societies, as we have seen it in many countries. Continuous imprisonment and taking hostages and taking the detainees and putting them in detention camps and concentration camps. Continuous mutilation of the dead body of the victims of war was nothing to do with the war. Even sometimes they used to cut the bodies into many pieces and disperse it in different graveyards. Continuous separation of families. You found that the father this way, the mother here, because in the conflict, people rush out. No time for you to take your children with you. Continuous burying the people in the community or group graveyard. 50, 60, 70, 80 in one graveyard. Continuous stealing of the organs of the victims, whether they are prisoners, whether they are detainees, whether they are hostages, and using them and selling them, or making experiment on such individual while they are in detention. And the other crimes done, and up till now we are seeing it. Unfortunately, I make a statement about Sudan which is not on the news at all. More than 6 million people are in displacement inside Sudan. 18 or 16 million young children are not in school anymore. 10,000 people killed, and more than 3,000 to 4,000 people, women, have been raped. And in Sudan, rape is not on the agenda. Never was on the agenda. But it's on the agenda now, unfortunately, and still happening. And still being supported by other powers or foreign powers. This is the point number 6, the difference between the outcome of man-made disaster and the outcome of natural disaster, and the difference between when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala affected an area with a disaster, then when a man is destroying the society himself or herself. Point number 7, which is challenges. I mentioned in these 6 points, number 1, compelling duty on all of us. Number 2, be careful. Number 3, I changed my policy for this talk. Number 4, actually why Gaza become more important and we forget about the other problem. Number 5, actually the difference between the man-made disaster and the natural disaster impact, and the crime which is being committed by the people in conflict, especially in the man-made disaster. Number 7, challenges. Of course, challenges, because we need to find a way out. What is our challenge? Whether it's man-made disaster or it is natural disaster. The most important challenge is to raise public awareness. Public awareness. Public awareness. But how to raise the public awareness? Which is very, very difficult. I will structure this part as if we are building a structure, has a foundation with pillars, has incubators, then has roadmap. So to raise the public awareness, we have to have such a foundation, to lay the foundation down. Then we have to have the incubators. Then we have to draw the roadmap and the milestones on the roadmap. What is our foundation? Because now we are talking about public awareness to deal with either natural disaster or with actually man-made disaster. So point number 1, lay down the foundation of public awareness in different sites. Point number 1 on how to raise the public awareness is iman, or belief. You have to believe in your moral system, in your religion, in your society, in your history, in your culture, in your country. This is number one. Number two, certainty. You have to be certain that your belief is right. You have to be certain and sure that you have the right belief. This is the oldest foundation. Number three, you have to have your doctrine right. The right doctrine, a doctrine that fulfills the needs of people, protect communities, establish justice, freedom, and protect communities. Okay. Number four is education. Education. Sorry, my I have to. My Instagram is not working. Anyway, education is number four in the foundation of raising public awareness. Number five is available information. Cannot be educated without knowing what is the available information on the table for all of us. Okay. Number six is to gain experience. As the Prophet ﷺ told us, the Muslim who is engaged and working with the community is far, and being patient on their atrocity and their hardship is far more better than the other one who is not mixing with them. Just trying to do my Instagram. Okay, coming back again to Instagram. Number five, to gain experience. Okay. Number six, to gain experience. Number seven is to build an institution. We are not living anymore at the era of the pioneer individual. We have to change the individual into institution. Then number eight, in the foundation, bridge building, communication, networking, and building platform that actually can connect everybody together. Those 8 points are the foundation for raising public awareness. Belief, certainty, doctrine, education, information, experience, building institution, and communication, networking, and building partnership. This is the foundation of raising public awareness. Okay, now we need to look at at the incubators in our society. We have to create incubators, and we have to respect such incubator. What are the incubators? 10 incubators for public awareness. Number one, to protect the institution and the fabric of the family. To make our family is the central point for building our society, and for building our community, and for building our country, and for building actually our civilization and renaissance. The family is the cornerstone. We can't live without it. We can't have a country without a family. A family that has a female mother and male father, with relatives and neighbors and others. Second incubator is a school, the teacher, the syllabus, and the program inside the school. Number third incubator is the places of worship. It's another incubator. Number four is your neighbors. When you move with your family, you choose the neighbor before choosing the house. The neighbors, the friends of the parents as well. Number five is your relatives and your big family. This is another incubator. Number six, the recreation program for the children, whether they are organized by the school, by the places of worship, by a civil society organization, by the family, by the neighbors, by the friends. We have to have this kind of recreation program for the children inside the family. Number seven, the cultural and social climate surrounding the environment of the society. This kind of cultural and social climate is extremely important incubator for us. Number eight is the state media, which on the television 24/7, drama, arts, literature, folklore, history, and others. Number nine, the impact of social media recently, which happening over the last 20 years. Number 10, it is what we are watching nowadays. It is the impact of working from home, especially after COVID. Okay? Especially after COVID. These 10 incubators are very much needed to raise the public awareness. I'll say them again: the family, the school, the place of worship, the neighborhood and the family friends, the relatives, the big family, the recreation program organized by schools, place of worship, civil society organization, family, neighbor, and friends, the social climate, the state media, as well as drama, arts, literature, folklore, and others, the impact of social media, the last and not least, actually, the impact of working from home, actually, after COVID. These are the 10 incubators needed with to be above the incubators, above actually the foundation. Okay? The third one, which is how to draw roadmaps and how to put the milestone in the roadmaps. It needs a special category of people. It needs a special category of people. Who are they? Drawing roadmaps and drawing its directions needs very alert, sound brains and innovative brains. Have got multi-dimensional vision. They are equal in thinking. They are distinct in their performance. They are not rushing in their productivity. They live inside the parameter of their time. They have the ability to discover the talent of the individuals in society. They have the ability to explore the potential of the individuals. They can benefit from every resources in the society, every resource in the society. They are participating or actually letting the society members to participate with them. They are directing all the directives and the directions. They are value builders. They build the values of the society. They are actually protecting all the resources of the community. They understand the history of the society. They respect the icons and role models, the culture. They are balancing between different faiths. They are actually building future leaders from amongst men and women, young men and young women, and they believe in research studies. This is the characteristic criteria of the people who are going to draw the roadmap and put the milestones inside it. But they will be facing a lot of challenges. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. Some of the challenges are number one, maintaining an adequate civil liberty space. It's number one. Number two, studying and knowing the history of the country, the society, the culture, the values. Number three, keep building civil society organization, keep protecting it, making it independent and strong, and keep building independent civil society sector. Civil society sector. Number four, investing in research, studies, building think tanks, building critical individuals and critical masses, respecting and protecting icons, social icons or role models. Number six, empowering the young people, male and female, while we are in office. Number seven is women participation and empowerment in leadership of the society. Number eight, revisiting the definition of the terminology, like democracy, like liberty, like freedom, like governance, all has to be revisited again by us to allow us to put our normal values, moral values, belief, and culture in the new definitions. Number nine, building independent media platforms, which is impartial. Number 10, which is very important, to discover how others are thinking and behaving. Number 11, building the journey of partnership inside the society. Number 12, never ever allow the military or the security to run the country. Never ever allow somebody has a gun or a knife or a stick to control you, because you'll be scared from the gun, the stick, or the knife or the sword. Number 13, be careful, especially in where there's a social change in the society, actually, and like revolution and post-revolution. Be careful of what? Of the counter-revolution created by the deep states who employ thugs, ringleaders, bandits, like it happened in Syria. It happened it's happening in Sudan after Janjaweed. It's happening in the Arab Spring in Egypt as well, and other countries. Unfortunately. Number 14, which is very, very, very important, changing our reaction from being firefighting into doing the following. Don't become firefighter. Don't become firefighter. And then instead, you have to learn, and we have to learn to be able to build societies, to be community builders, building peace and safety in the society, building empowerment or empowering the society, building resilience in the society as well, and building the infrastructure between different components of the society instead of firefighting. Firefighting could be just the initial response, but after that, parallel to that, community building, building peace and safety and security, community empowerment, building resilience, and building infrastructure between different infrastructure of the society. Okay. Number 15, we have to have a role to play, whether on the local level, on the national level, or regional level, or global level. We have to create a role for ourselves. We have to create a role for ourselves. Number 16 is to invest in building the future leadership from the young people, the future generation. Okay. Number 17, we have to be interested in the humanitarian subject, such as history, art, music, drama, philosophy, and others. Most of the Muslim organizations or religious organization or Muslim movement are ignoring it. So, number 18, we have to invest in the parallel education. Three kinds of education: state education, number one; parallel education, number two; alternative education, number three. We have to go with the three because education is not one size fits all anymore. State education, parallel education, and alternative education. Number 19, building the community market. Why? To empower the low income families, to make them independent, so they can think freely. Number 20, to positively benefit from social media, especially from the influencer, and attract them to come and help us in building our society, our community, our country, our future. These are the three components of building the public awareness or raising public awareness. Number one is laying down the foundation of social awareness. Number two, building the incubators of social awareness, public awareness. Number three is drawing the roadmaps of the public awareness. There is no treatment to our problems, our issues, without public awareness, without raising the public awareness. There is no awareness without belief, no belief without certainty, no certainty without doctrine, no doctrine without knowledge, no knowledge without science, no science without experience, no experience without experimentation, no experimentation and experience without partnership and participating, no participation without communication, no communication without being friendly to others, no friendlessness without love, and no love without sacrifices, no sacrifices without challenges, no challenges without success, no success without hardship, no hardship without life, and no life without hardship again, and no hardship without farsightedness, and no farsightedness without iman, belief, and no iman without doctrine, no doctrine without certainty, no certainty without awareness. And the life cycle goes on all the time. If we are not aware of it, it will smash us, it will walk or run over us, and will change us into rubble, dust, and ashes. This is how to build our public awareness to face these problems, which is man-made disasters or natural disasters. Last point, which I can share it in 1 or 2 minutes, a bright point at the end of the year. Alhamdulillah, this year we managed to produce or to publish our first book, which is called Global Humanitarian Work, New Announcement, New Adhan. It talks about philosophy, talks about culture, talks about history, talks about moral values, talks about academia, as well as talks about practical experience of practitioner. It's in Amazon. It will be activated very soon in Arabic because we don't have the fund to translate into English. Maybe the second good point, inshallah, that every year Would love to have 1 or 2 books published by World Humanitarian Action Forum. And on the pipeline now, there's 2 other books for 2024. One is about the experience gained from Libya cyclone or Libya storm, practical steps how to deal with it. The second one about biography, which is going to be published for the secondary school students. I wish you, inshallah, Happy New Year next year. A more prosperous and safe year, inshallah. Happy, more tranquil year. No more war, no more displacement, no more hardship, no more of whatever, something to affect our life, inshallah, and to make it very, very prosperous for all of us. And please, when we meet next year, we have to meet it with open heart, mind, and soul, and try to raise awareness, as I mentioned earlier, to protect the underprivileged, the marginalized, the displaced, the refugees, and the people who are tortured in detention and concentration camp in different parts of the world. All the best for you. God bless you. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.